All right. Good day, everyone, and thank you for signing on today. Well, it looks like we've got over 50 folks listening on today's webinar, which is great. It's really nice to see so much interest in the research. My name is Jim Kirkarudo, and I've been the Director of Industry Research and Analysis with National Shooting Sports Foundation since late 2009. And we've done a ton of really great research over the past 7.5 years. But as great as the insights have been, I know that not all of you are taking full advantage of the data, and that's not because you don't like research. I mean, that's just silly. We all love research. It's because for the past 7 or 8 years, many of you manufacturers were busy trying to fill back orders and trying to distribute your products fairly among your retail partners. And retailers were busy trying to get their fair share of that product and deal with the influx of new customers and different customers that they were getting. So you didn't have much time or really need for that extra insight. But as you know, the market has changed and quite drastically over the past few months. And I believe that research is going to be utilized now more than ever. So the good news is that NSSF has more data now than ever, and the timing is really perfect. We just went live with a great new online portal that houses all of our historical statistics from all the NICS data, import-export figures, hunting license sales, and excise tax information, as well as more than 40 research reports can be found there on a wide variety of topics from women gun owners, first-time gun buyers, and the Hispanic market. So please make sure to sign in, get accustomed to that new portal, and take advantage of all this information sitting there for you. And most of the research is free to members, so again, please be sure to take advantage of it. So I'm sure a lot of you have plenty of other things you could be doing right now, so I really appreciate you taking the time to listen in. I sign up for a lot of online webinars myself, and one thing I've learned is that I need to bring a big, strong cup of coffee with me, because sometimes these webinars drag on and on. But keeping that in mind, we're just going to provide you guys with a top-line view of the findings today from this research, and we'll be done in less than 30 minutes. We'll leave some time for questions as well. And you can always reach out to Rob or I afterwards to go into more detail. And we will be recording this webinar, and we'll make it available soon so you can share it with your coworkers or just listen to it over and over. All right, so let's get into the research and why we conducted it. In 2016, as many of you were telling us that you were interested in having a better understanding of the different types of today's gun owners or segments. And there's many different ways, research techniques to really identify customer segments. But for this study, we focused on a very up-and-coming and a popular technique that was being used by many of the Fortune 500 consumer-related companies, and that is to segment the large consumer base not by any demographic characteristic they share, such as an age or gender or ethnicity, and we've done that previously, but this time we're breaking the segments into what motivated them to purchase and own a particular product, and in this case, firearms. We had a ton of industry support with this project, and it paid off because the results are very telling. And to help explain the findings, I'd like to introduce Rob Southwick, who's the owner of Southwick Associates based out of Florida. Rob and his team have been conducting research for the outdoors market for more than 25 years. And Rob and I were just discussing how this particular research, segmenting gun owners by their wants, needs, and motivations, is really unique. And it's a huge step forward for us in better understanding today's gun owners. So Rob, please take it away.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Just a quick note about Southwick Associates. We are a 14-person research company headquartered in Northeast Florida, but our staff is all over the U.S. We do a lot of work. As Jim had mentioned, we're in the outdoor market. We specifically focus on hunting, recreational shooting, and sport fishing. We do a lot of work with companies, everything from helping them identify the size of their market, their niche, understanding directions in industry, what kind of products customers really want, what they're willing to pay, and a lot more. But we're going to focus here on this new needs-based consumer segmentation study as Jim has described. As Jim had mentioned, this kind of segmentation study identifies the uniquely distinct parts or segments of the market. Customers are segmented based on their needs, with each segment sharing a common set of needs and motivations for buying a firearm. And by understanding why consumers decide to buy firearms and the reasons why they favor specific firearms, you can then improve your products, you can improve your messaging, your marketing, and at the end, improve your sales. Consumer segmentation understands there's no such thing as an average customer. That if you try to reach all customers with the same product or message, you're only benefiting your competitors. You really have to speak to each one of these segments individually, and you'll only succeed at that if you fully understand how each segment is different from the others. So there's many ways you can do a segmentation study. You can segment customers based on what they're doing with your product. You can segment them based on what they look like, their demographics. You can segment your customers based on the types of products that they're buying or even where they live. But it's really their needs, motivations, and their wants that determine if they buy something. It's not what they look like or where they live. It's what they need, what they want that determines if they're going to buy a product and if that product is your product or if it's your competitor's products. And then once you understand these motivations and needs, you can definitely improve your company's performance. So we have 8 consumer segments. We don't have enough time to go all through them in detail, so I'm going to share top-level view of 4 of these segments to give you an idea of flavor of what we've learned here. The first one I want to share with you, we call the social shooter. The social shooter represents 8% of U.S. firearm buyers. They are diverse in their location. That means they're just as readily found in suburban areas as in rural areas, and a big contingent also in urban areas. As the name implies, they're into it for fun. They want to have a good time with people who they like. For them, it's a day in the range. Protection is still a slight element to it, but the main reason for them buying a firearm is to have fun. Price is a concern for them. They do desire versatility. That means they want to be able to do multiple activities with their firearm and still have it at home for protection purposes if ever needed. This segment, next to our hunter segment, is most likely to buy a long gun, not necessarily a shotgun, also rifles, but they are probably the largest consumer of shotguns. This segment, 25% of the buyers in this segment are female. The second of the segments is the skills builder segment. They represent 12% of firearm buyers in the United States. They're primarily suburban. They have modest, that means below average income. Correlated to that is that they're one of the younger segments, typical to have lower incomes there. They are not outdoorsy. They do not identify with outdoor recreation. They have a very high rate of female participation. In fact, 43% of them are women. They also have one of the highest rates of minority participation when it comes to our 8 segments. This segment does not own many firearms. Often they'll have just one, but they do want to be proficient with it. So you'll see them at the range, often by themselves. It's not a social activity, but after they purchase, they will go to the range to learn how to be proficient, how to use their firearm. For them, given the protection is a big motivation for purchase. They tend to favor handguns, concealability, and low weight is important to them. Recommendations by pros are important, and they also like innovative products. When they walk up to the counter, innovation or new innovation will attract their attention. The largest of our segments is the protector. They represent 26% of our firearm buyers. They're very family-oriented. They're professional with above average income. They don't describe themselves as outdoorsy either, but they strongly define themselves as protective of their family and of their homes. They do their homework. When they walk into a store to make the purchase, they've been online. They know what type of firearm they want. They know the specific features that they want in a firearm, and often know the brands they want to look at. So they've done their homework, talk specifics with them to boost their sales. And about 1/3 of the buyers in this segment are women. And the last of the 4 segments we'll walk through here is Debbie Defense. And as the name implies, this is 100% female in this market. Debbie Defense represents 15% of all firearm buyers and consumers in the U.S. She's interested in protection, both at home and away from home. She's younger than, on average, than our other firearm buyers, also very ethically diverse. She actually enjoys the outdoors. About a third of them do have children at home, high rate of single mom situation at home. She wants concealability. She wants lightweight in a firearm, but unlike the protector segment, she walks into the store with lots of questions. She needs someone to help her, to talk to her. She wants personal attention. She's not likely to do as much homework before she goes shopping. For her, recreational shooting is of little interest, but she will spend the money for lessons to become adept at the firearm. For her, it's about quality. She wants it to function when the time should ever come, and ease of use. Those are things that she's looking for in a firearm. So there's a way of visualizing all these 8 segments together, and we call this a playing field. And we can plot them on this playing field like a sports field. And what we have, those segments that would be to the left side, those are the segments that are looking for, that they're concerned about price. They want the most value in the purchase. Price is important. And then those to the right, these are the premium buyers. For them, it doesn't matter about price as much. They want to acquire the right firearm. Then those to the top of this playing field, they know, they're like the protector segment. They walk into the retail store, they can tell you what kind of firearm and specifications they want, while those in the bottom, they don't know. So we can plot out all 8 segments on this playing field. And you can see Debbie Defense to the right and Skills Builder, where they're not really so price sensitive. They want the right product. Top right is the collectors. They want one of everything. And then what you can do as a company, you can look at your customers, see where they plot on the playing field. Then you can see which segments you align with. And more importantly, you can see where you're not. And those will be your growth opportunities. So if you're, let's say, for example, your customers don't plot down the lower right-hand quadrant, you know you've got an opportunity to expand sales to the female side of the market. So a lot of value here by having this visualized part with the playing field. What you don't see right there in the middle is the average customer. As I mentioned before, if you try to sell to the average customer, talk to all firearm buyers using one message, one product fits all, if you do that, you're talking to nobody. If you're going to be successful, you need to speak to each one of the segments directly. If you don't, your competitors are doing that, and they will see better sales than you will. We have a lot of data in this data set. I've only presented to you a very tip of the iceberg. We have information on accessories. We have information on how they do their shopping, where they go for information, who they are, the other activities. There's a lot of information. There's a website here at Southwick Associates if you want to get more information on this segmentation study. When you registered for this webinar, you should have received an attachment, which is a 4-page summary of all 8 of the segments. If you want the detailed report, it's about 200 pages. There's a discount for members of NSSF. This report is on infographic format, so it's easy to read, easy to digest with the infographics. You can contact Lee at Southwick Associates to purchase a copy of this report. Most companies are using the results, though, in a custom format. This is where we can go into the data set and do customized segmentations based on companies' individual segments, needs, product niches, or where they're looking to grow. So if you have questions, let us know. But otherwise, I'm going to turn it back to Jim.
All right, excellent, Rob. Thank you. And we'll give time. A couple questions are coming in now, but if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. And while you're typing them in, I just do want to reiterate that there are a couple of free reports on this study here, that 4-pager, which is hopefully in your handout section of this webinar. If not, in a follow-up email, we will send you that 4-pager, as well as an 11-pager that really is something that we identified on the non-gun owners from this study as well. We started to segment them. And we're going to work with all your State Department of Natural Resources on recruitment so we can help bring new customers to you guys in 2017 and beyond. Again, on top of the research that we have here, please use that new portal and look for all the research that we have to help you guys make better decisions in these changing market times. So the